Okay, in the world of big business deals, one bad move can be absolutely catastrophic. So today, we're going to break down the single most important process for avoiding that disaster. We're talking about partner vetting and due diligence. Let's dive right in. Every major business deal really sits on a knife's edge. On one side, you've got this incredible collaboration, something that just fuels massive growth. But on the other, a complete failure that can cripple your company. And the difference? Well, it almost always comes down to how well you vetted your partner.
And believe me, the stakes could not be higher. We're not just talking about some failed project here. A single bad partnership can lead to financial ruin, total legal nightmares, and just irreparable damage to your reputation. This is why getting it right isn't just a good idea, it's essential for survival.
So, to see how this all works in the real world, let's look at a case study. Our story starts with this mid-sized German pharmaceutical company. They've developed a brand new, innovative product, a potential game changer in their field. But, having a brilliant idea is really only half the battle, right? They had a huge challenge in front of them. How do you take this amazing innovation and start manufacturing it at a massive commercial scale? For that, they had to find the perfect partner. And that brings us to the core problem. They're on the verge of signing this massive agreement, ready to invest a ton of time and money. But before that ink even touches the paper, they have to be absolutely 100% sure they're making the right call. Which leads us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? How can you really know if a potential partner can deliver on their promises? Are they financially stable? Do they actually meet global standards? Or are there some hidden skeletons in their closet just waiting to pop out the second the deal is signed? Well, the answer is you just can't trust a handshake and a smile. You need a real solution. And that solution is a methodical, totally unbiased investigation, a deep dive due diligence process before you commit to a single thing. Think of it like a corporate detective story. Now, a real investigation isn't just random guesswork. It needs a system. In this case, a 4-point methodology was used to get a complete 360-degree view of the potential partner to uncover the whole truth.
So, the investigation was built on 4 key pillars. First up, manufacturing capability. Can they actually make the product, and can they make it right? Second, financial health. Are they on solid ground, or is this a risky bet? Third, intellectual property, or IP. Is it all secure and protected? And finally, the reputation check. What does the industry really think of them?
All right, let's start with step 1, manufacturing capability. This is where you get your boots on the ground. It's a physical, operational audit. We're moving beyond promises on a PowerPoint slide and actually analyzing their production sites, their equipment, and their quality control systems. And the level of detail here is absolutely critical. We're talking a review of everything from the machinery on the factory floor to the fine print in the quality control paperwork. A huge part of this is checking for compliance with global standards like GMP and ISO, which, in the pharma world, are completely non-negotiable. Okay, on to the second pillar, financial health. A partner can have the best factories on the planet, but if they go bankrupt in the middle of your project, you're sunk. This step is all about making sure they're financially stable for the long haul. So this means digging deep into the numbers. We're talking quarterly reports, annual statements, to really understand their profitability and liquidity. You're looking for trends, and most importantly, any red flags. Is their debt piling up? Is cash flow becoming a problem? This is how you spot financial risks before they become your problem. Now, the third step can save you from massive legal headaches down the road, the IP review. In an industry like pharma, where innovation is everything, your intellectual property is your crown jewel. You have to be sure your partner's IP is solid and isn't going to create conflicts with your own. Investigators do what's called a full patent landscape assessment. Basically, they verify who actually owns the IP, they look for any dangerous overlaps with existing patents, and they probe for any weak spots. This is exactly how you protect your own innovations from getting tangled up in legal challenges later. And finally, the fourth pillar, the reputation check. The numbers and the factories tell one story, but what about the whispers? What's the word on the street? This part is all about gathering intelligence to find out what this potential partner is really like to work with. So you gather the official references, sure, but you also conduct confidential interviews with key players in the industry. Competitors, former clients, even their suppliers. This is how you build a complete, candid picture of their reliability, their efficiency, and their true standing in the market. All right, so after completing all 4 of these stages, it's time to put all the puzzle pieces together.
This is that magic moment where a mountain of data and research gets transformed into a clear, strategic verdict for the client. And that verdict is delivered in a really clear, concise scorecard. This lets the client see all the key findings at a glance. And in this case, the partner passed with flying colors. Their manufacturing was compliant, their financials were stable, their IP was robust, and they had a strong market reputation. A clean sweep. The final report gave the client exactly what they needed. It wasn't just a simple yes or no. It was a comprehensive, evidence-backed assessment that gave them this deep understanding of who exactly they were about to go into business with.
And the ultimate result of all this? Confidence. Plain and simple. The German pharma company could now move forward not with just hope or a gut feeling, but with the data-driven certainty that they had made the absolute right choice. They were empowered to sign that deal. So let's pull back from this specific case for a second. What's the big takeaway here? Well, the lesson is universal. Thorough due diligence isn't just some box-ticking exercise you have to do. It is the absolute foundation of every single successful business partnership, period. Here's probably the simplest way to think about it. You would never ever buy a house without getting a professional to inspect the foundation, the plumbing, the roof, right? Of course not. Due diligence is the exact same idea, but for a multi-million-dollar business deal. You have to check the foundation before you buy in. So as we wrap this up, I'll leave you with a question to think about. What's the one partnership on your horizon, in your world, that you absolutely cannot afford to get wrong? And are you prepared to build it on a foundation of fact and not just faith?